teach the basics of editing in Vegas. Alrighty, so yes, I'm going to be teaching the basics of editing in Vegas. It's going to be so basic that you can use these tips in any version of Vegas that you have. I have notes sitting next to me on what I need to talk about during this video. The first one I'm going to talk about is 2 ways you can import footage, images, audio, anything. So what you need to do is go over to the project media window, the top left, and click import media. It will open up a window. Normally I have folders with everything I have organized. I'm going to import one of my intros. I'll just import this one. And then it'll pop up in this window. You can click and drag it from this window onto your timeline down here. If you get this message, just click yes. And that's the first way you import footage. The other way is just clicking and dragging from the file destination, like the folder it's in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open File Explorer Intro and drag it onto the timeline. And there you go. It looks all nice and green and my name, and that's so sick. The next I'm going to teach, I'm really bad at teaching, is, so there's 2 ways for this as well. You can do it the manual way, where you right click, either click insert audio or video tracks, whichever you need. I'll just add a video track, and it will add a blank video track right here. So you can add like images or subtitles, which is normally what I use extra audio and video tracks for. The other way is by pressing the keyboard shortcut. Control, Shift, and Q will add a video track. Control and Q will add an audio track. You can tell the difference between the two because it will have a volume adjustment on the audio tracks and a little volume meter right here. Alrighty, now that I've taught you how to start the program, I'm gonna move along to, so I have some footage from, well, let me wait for that to build all of the peaks in the bottom left, because that's important. I could have applied to college and finished all 4 years before this. Finished building peaks to audio. It only finished the first. Oh my god. This intro took way too long for me to do. This is sped up 50%. So that intro took way too long. I just want to get into the video. So what you do to cut the footage is by pressing S on your keyboard, and it will instantly cut all of the footage. You can cut that and then delete and drag your footage forward. Oh yeah, I would recommend saving a lot because Vegas tends to crash on you. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to... So to do a video fade, in the corner of every item that's on the timeline, there's going to be this little triangle. You can click it, and then I normally drag it out for a second, which is one. I'll put it right there. I could never get it exact. Oh, I did it. That's 1 second. So when I press play, it will fade in for 1 second. You can do that for the end of footage as well. Fade on the corner triangle. Click and drag for the amount of time that you want. I did it again. Oh god, I'm so sick. And then it will fade out. I use that a lot because I don't like intros where it's like, what's up everybody, I'm gonna be playing this and that and doing this, let's get going. No, I don't like that. I just like getting straight into the videos. And you can do the same for audio right here when I'm like, alrighty, and it will fade it in softly. In this section, it's just too loud. If you want to adjust it, there's a bunch of different ways you can adjust volume. I'll show you the easy way. The easy way is doing it for an individual clip that's been cut. So like the lines right here, this has been cut, so it's only affecting this right here. Clicking on this rectangle and dragging it down will make the audio lower, and then you could do the same if you want it maxed out, which is its default position. The other way is adjusting everything that's in one of these audio video tracks, and you could adjust everything in it, louder, or it could be softer. And if you want it to go back to default, double click and it will go back. Double click on this little square and it will take it back to 0. I like to edit specific things on the timeline. So like if I wanted to move just my voice, which is right here, I would have been talking and yapping on right here. I think that's the one section of audio where I didn't talk. For editing specific things on the timeline is clicking this little button right here. Ignore event grouping, which will allow you to take something from a group, move it, and only affect that. So I'd be able to take the footage and just add a video track or two, and then I could move it along. Now these numbers on the left tell you how far the audio is going to be out of sync. And then once you move the audio and video back into place, it will tell you if it's lined up by disappearing. In this footage, I'm going to show how to... So what I want to do, I found something that I've been looking for in this world for a very long time. Okay. And I reacted to it. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in on these boots right here. In the video footage, click this icon right here. And if it doesn't show up, right click and click Video Event Pan-Crop. That will bring up this window right here. What I recommend is clicking the first dot. But if it doesn't show up, I would cut the footage where it does. So like right here, when the item shows up, I'm going to line up the center dot right here on top of this boot. I'm going to press Control and Alt. That will keep the window the same size as the video footage. So it will keep your screen size, the basic 1920 by 1080 resolution, by pressing Control and Alt. Alt just makes it zoom in on the center point. Control will keep its shape. So now, let's see what this looks like. Okay, we're good. Oh my god, yeah. And there we go. Now it's zoomed in on what I was being really excited about. Oh, and if you want to fix footage, click the first dot and right click and click Restore. That will fix whatever you edited inside the pan-crop event, and it will set everything back to normal. Don't crash on me. All around me are familiar. Luckily, there wasn't anything important, but I swear to God, if it crashes while I'm editing this video, I'm gonna cry. Oh my God, just crash already. Thank you. So, like what I normally do, I'll have editor's notes. I'm going to go to Media Generator. Scroll all the way down to Tiles and Text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this default text in here. I'm going to go to the end of the clip. I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to delete the section I don't need. So what it will do when you add text is it will open up this window where you can change the font size, add an outline to the text, or give it a shadow, some background, stuff like that. So what I do is I click in this box, I delete sample text because that's not what I want to say. I'm going to put editor's note. And there we go. That is going to be our text. And what you can do, you can also move it around the screen. Clicking these dots and dragging them will scale it. And what I could do is I could also drag it to where it has its own timing, and then when I freak out, I could then have the text pop up. Oh my god. And there it is. The text will stay on there for as long as this is above your footage. If it goes below the image, the text will not show up at all. And what I do is, so I don't have to keep using the default, since you can change the font, and if you want to save that as a preset, go up here, change the name. Normally whenever I make a preset, I change this to sample text. I could just save this as editernal. And if I want to save it after I name it, clicking this, and once I go back into titles and text, there it is. Now I can just click and drag it. So I'm going to add a transition from this clip to this clip. I'm going to go over to the transition tab. This is the category that the effects are, and these are the presets that are in it. So for the example, I'm going to use video effects, which is basically the same thing. Ooh, I could use my favorite one, TV simulator. So what you do is you click TV simulator or any effect category you want, and then you click and drag this into the footage you want it to be on. And then it'll open up the video event effects, which brings up little tabs that you can edit the look of the footage. And if you don't want to scroll down for anything, what you could do is you could search up the effect, like TV. Now, when you first search something up, it will make Vegas slow down a lot, and it will look like it's crashing, but don't click, because that just means it's looking for it, and it will bring the category and all of that up. And the same thing goes for transitions. So I'm going to use a default dissolve. But for transitions, you want to put them on the edge of your footage, so the very end, click them right here, and drop it. And there you go. That's how transitions are done. So the easy way is by clicking and dragging the end of the footage while you press and hold control. And you click and drag it, and it will stop. When it stops, that's as far as you can go. Time-lapsing footage regularly lags my computer, but it renders in the set amount of FPS I have it set to. The preview is the only thing that lags, so this will look a little choppy. That was the easy way. That's the way I don't use for time-lapsing. What I do use is I click the footage, right-click, and choose velocity. And then I drag this little line up, and on this dash, I line the dash up with whatever music I have in the background, and then I'll delete the excess. That will speed up the footage quite a lot more than just clicking and dragging it. But it runs even slower. Well, right now it's running pretty smooth actually. But what you could do is combine them both. Once you have that, you can click and drag this. And that's how you time-lapse footage. Ignore the drawing, I just kind of made this little happy golem dude. He's just kind of chilling. Yes, look, he's so happy. And if I wanted to freeze frame, like right here, since the footage was moving too fast, I'm going to split it, right click, go to insert, remove envelope, freeze frame at cursor. And then I can drag this out for however long I want it to be. Envelope, remove velocity. Now envelope, freeze frame at cursor. So what it'll do, it will freeze, and now however long you have this zoomed, it will be frozen. If I wanted to render this, what I will do, I don't know if this does anything, but I normally select the area, just clicking and dragging inside of an area, and then click up here, render as. The best settings to use for rendering something is going to AVC MP4, whichever like the highest definition you can render with. What I normally do is 1080p, and if you want to, what I did was I clicked the favorite option on the one that I can render with, and then I click show favorites in the filter, so all I get is this, and I'm gonna name it Epic Funny Haha Speed Paint. I made my own folder for rendering stuff. It makes it easier to upload and find the footage. And then once you have all of that set up, I would recommend going with the settings. If you can't, go a step below if your computer isn't fast enough to render stuff like this, and then just click render. This normally takes a while. Sometimes it runs fast, but most of the time it takes a while. Like just this 28-second long video is going to take me around 3 minutes already. I'm going to time lapse this, and then I'm going to end the video basically, because that's really all I had on my list to teach. Now that the footage has finished rendering, I normally click open folder, and then I check the footage to make sure it is rendered right. Yeah, that footage seems to be rendered all right. And with that, that is my tutorial on all of the starting information to know about Vegas. It's a fairly simple software to get down. The only problem I have with it is how often it crashes. That is my tutorial. I really hoped it helped. If you have any questions, comment down below. I will definitely try to answer all of them that I see. And as for that, that's the end of this video.